Hello, everybody that is watching. I am so excited about today's episode of Pageants and Prosecco. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to get some nice little gems going about social media tips, tricks, and what you can do as a title holder today to increase your online social media game. I am so excited for this interview. This is one of my sister queens that we are speaking with, and I'll just go ahead and introduce you guys to her. Kavina Washington is a social media marketing specialist, okay, and she's the founder of Bomb and Bossy Marketing. She received her degree in fashion merchandising from Western Illinois University, where she held the title of Miss Black Western Illinois in 2014. Her daily mission is to help brands build their online presence through unique marketing strategies to explode their business straight to the top. At the age of 26, Kavina has worked with brands such as BET, Networks, Rollout Magazine, and more. I hope you guys have your glasses ready for this episode. I know we are coming to you a little bit early, but I have my cup ready to go. I'll talk about it in a second. But let's all give a nice warm Pageant and Prosecco toast to Kavina Washington. Hello, my love.
Hi, everyone. It's Kovana.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm excited to be here with my drink, courtesy of Cooper's Hawk. This is their cranberry wine. What do you have, Brittany?
I have Tito's. I'm drinking vodka, which is out of the norm for me. I just happen to have this ready to go. But any other day, I'll show you what I am sipping on this week at least. I do have a wine.
Oh, nice.
just here.
It out.
This is Lindemann. So this is my favorite one to go when I go cheap. This is usually $5 at the store, and this is their Shiraz.
Oh, nice. What store do you normally get it from?
Really anywhere, but this one I got it at. Where was I? Was I at Walmart? It's like I could picture it. Oh no, I was at a market. I can't. Oh, like it's like a Valley's market.
Oh,
yeah. It was a Spanish market actually.
Oh, nice.
They had 2 for $9, and so I got 2.
Right, might as well for the $1 off.
Right. So that one is a Shiraz, and Shiraz grapes are typically found in Australia. Okay. I don't know why I said Arizona. I'm thinking about this other title holder who's in Arizona. It is. And I have it mixed together with Minute Maid Berry Punch, because of course that's the best Minute Maid drink to get.
It is. I agree. I agree. I had that this week, actually.
Really?
Yeah, but it goes so fast. Like when you have it, it's like it's just gone for me in like a day or two. So yeah, that was one of my juices for this week.
I opened it today actually, and it's my second cup of it because it's just kind of addicting. This berry punch one.
Yeah.
And then with the Tito's in it, it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. It just sneaks up on you.
Well, speaking of sneaking up, I guess this is a transition. Yeah. You kind of snuck up into the entrepreneurship world. Can you tell us a little bit about your backstory on how you guys started as an entrepreneur and how you grew Bomb and Bossy and how you started the business and how it's growing?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny that you said the word snuck up because I was actually fired from my job, which snuck up on me and sent me an email, a last day email, which was kind of weird to me. But the funny thing about it is that same day, I was actually a social media manager at a fashion design company. But that same day, I felt the energy like I no longer wanted to work there. It was a brand photo shoot, and I asked the brand manager, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you want me to do some behind the scenes? And she was just like, no, not today, okay? And I'm just like, Mm-hmm. A thought in my mind was just like, I don't want to work here anymore. I don't like the vibes. Like I just felt the vibes. On top of that, I was the only Black girl. So for a white woman to say that to me, it kind of like made me feel like, oh, I'm not wanted here. So right. I called my grandmother like that same day. It probably was like 9:30 in the morning to tell her like how that made me feel. And I'm just like, I don't want to work here anymore. And then that same evening, work was over and everything. I actually got an email that said last day. And it said I'm terminated because they want someone with more skills. And so for me, just at like looking back and like working at companies and working with brands, like when you're working at a company, first of all, before you can get fired, you're supposed to have a performance review. And secondly, if you want your staff to have more skills, then you pay for your staff to go to training. So they replaced me with a white girl. And so for me, I've always had this mindset of like hustling. Like I did hair ever since I was in middle school. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to use my skills to start my own business. I filed for unemployment. And during that time, I'm like, I'm going to use this 6 months to try to build my clientele. And so within 30 days of me being fired from that company, I created my own website. I created my own logo. So even still today, like if you see the website, like that's the website I created for myself. If you see my logo, then that's the logo that I personally created. So it was just more so of like having a door closed for me, but just kind of like, well, I have the skills. I'm just going to put myself out there and start getting clients.
And you also did my hair too. You did a nice little crochet look on me. Shortly after around that time. So you are definitely a master with your hands on the hair.
Yeah, that was so funny. I did do your hair, and it was like actually the style that you got that like I went viral on Facebook. I got like 50,000 views on that video, and so that moment I knew like, okay, I'm working at this company as a marketing agent or as a social media manager, but then I'm creating viral content. And I'm like, okay, I must know what I'm doing enough to start my business. And now, because of COVID, so many business owners are realizing that they really need social media because if you don't understand it, it can really be overwhelming. And then, so I'm glad that I'm in the space that I am in.
Right. And I love your story about, I think a lot of the best entrepreneurs kind of get started from being fired, honestly. When you I think I watching Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran got fired, I think from 20 jobs at one point, or she got fired and left between 20 jobs before she went into real estate. Me personally, I got fired a few times in my life. And that always has let me have a better next position in life. You know what I'm saying? So I think getting fired gives you that motivation, especially when you get fired and you know you were good too. I think that it hurts, but then you know that like it wasn't anything that you did because of your skills. You know, you got fired because of office politics, and it kind of like sucks the most, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's also kind of like sometimes we can be comfortable where we're at. And, in those cases, like sometimes being fired is that opportunity that we needed. Like, okay, your time is up here. Like you've served your purpose. Now it's time for the next level. And it's definitely been a next level experience for me. Like looking back, like, wow, I'm actually happy that I got fired because what if I didn't? Then where would I be today?
Right. I think about that all the time. Like, today, if I didn't get fired, I got fired in 2019, at the end of 2019. Would I still be there today? And I don't think I would, and even during the whole pandemic, I don't think I still would have been there, in June or July, later on that year. I don't think I still would have been there today. So it's kind of interesting. And I feel like I had a front row seat because I've been your friend on social media for the longest. We competed together for Miss Black Illinois back in the day. It feels like forever ago.
It does. It does. And what's so funny, like today, I was watching a movie on Netflix, and I forgot the name of it. Oh my gosh! But it kind of it's called Dumpling. It's called Dumpling.
Okay. Yes.
And so it's pretty much about this girl who she's overweight or plus size, and like her mom. Did you see it? Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
So it was so funny because I'm like, it's so funny I'm watching this the day that I have this interview with Brittany. But it had me thinking like actually competing in pageants is the moment that changed my life. It really prepared me for what I'm doing right now, like being able to interview or being able to go into these rooms to advocate for myself and advocate for my brand, because it's like it was more, even though I didn't win first place, I still won through the experience that it was able to give me. Now I was watching the movie like, wow, like I need to do another pageant.
You miss it? Is the bug biting you?
Yeah, it definitely is. But it's like I like glamour. I like being on stage. I like being the center of attention, and I feel like being a beauty queen and participating in pageants really gives you that moment to shine. Like you don't have to be a Beyonce or a Cardi B, or you don't have to be like an A-list celebrity to put on a dress and get your makeup done and be on stage and have people watch you. So yeah, the bug is definitely biting me. And as soon as COVID is over, like, I want to do this pageant.
Well, girl, you know I got one for you to compete in.
Yes, I do.
So just let me know. You know, I'm looking for contestants for
Yeah.
my air pageant. Shameless plug. So what else? What other skills do you think you gained from competing or just being a pageant girl? What things do you think has changed your life now that you gained from that moment?
I feel like life is about negotiation, like especially in careers and like standing up for yourself, especially like during the times of like fundraising. That was a very humbling experience for me, because I'm like, wow, I really raised all of this money just by asking. Like, and I feel like as we are going through life, we have to even if we're like, if it's not a pageant situation, you may be in a workplace and have to ask for a raise. Like, are you comfortable? Some people are not comfortable with that. So like going back to when I was fired, I asked for a raise 2 weeks before that. So I looked at it as like, wow, they used it as an excuse not to give me a raise. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like participating in pageants, it was like I had to put myself out there. And I feel like that's what you have to do in order for you to be successful in life, whether if you're being an entrepreneur or whether if you're applying for a new job and you're looking at your resume, like even down to the platform. Your platform is a representation of your mission. Like when you read my bio, my mission is to help entrepreneurs and to help brands take their business to the next level. So every day I'm waking up, I'm not waking up willy-nilly. I'm waking up like, okay, I have to check in with my clients because I'm here to help them. So how can I serve you? So it was more so of like a mindset change to say, well, hey, you can literally take these skills and you're going to have to use them every single day in your life as you're growing.
Right. I love that. And, you know, like I said, I think I had a front row seat to your growth from when you got fired. I've been following you, you know, it's not like stalking or anything. That's how social media is. Following you and your journey, and it's just really inspiring. I want you to talk about when you got fired and how you self-taught yourself the social media. So you self-taught yourself. Is that how it goes? Social media marketing. I know you posted a post about like how you went and got books and everything. What was the importance of you like upping your education before you launched your Bomb and Bossy business?
So for me, my degree is in fashion merchandising. So with that, we learned about the fashion industry, like the business side. We touched a little bit on marketing, but not a lot. So we touched on marketing, website design, graphic design, like really the business side. And so it was pretty much like if I was going to start my own marketing agency, I pretty much was like self-teaching myself in the job as the social media manager. Like at that time, I was like 20. Oh my God, 20 years old. I'm 26 now. I was like 20 years old, like 21. So at that time, like as a 20-year-old, of course, I'm on my phone, you know, and design company who doesn't have social media presence at all. The CEO is like 30 or like close to 40, but he's like, you're young. you did it. You can help us with the social media. So, like, and that in that time of working there, I was self-teaching myself while in that role. I even had like 5 interns that I personally managed as their manager. Like, wow. But before I started my business, I knew I actually went right to the library. I went right to the library that next day, and I was like, okay, who's the top marketers? So shout out to Gary V, because I read his books from start to finish, and I don't really like reading, but I read them all start to finish. I even still have journals from 2017 where I was like writing down like, what does it mean to really create a marketing campaign? Like how to do this, how to do that. So I just knew if I was gonna really help like be a leader in what I'm doing, that I had to understand and be knowledgeable. So that component of the education piece was super important to me, because I knew when I went to school, I didn't focus on marketing. So that's the part of like the self-teaching. So even now I still purchase books, I purchase courses. Like I was thinking about going to school for my master's, but I'm just like, well, I don't know. I'll probably just get a certification or something and be done with it. So, so yeah, actually Harvard has an extension business school. And I'm like, I'll be happy to have Harvard on my resume and just get their certificate.
Right.
Versus paying who knows what for a master's degree.
That's true. And a lot of times the formal education might be a little bit behind in the times, so you gotta like keep up, and textbooks might be outdated and whatnot too.
Yeah.
But are you reading anything currently that you can share with us?
Let's see.
Or is any great book titles that you can recommend for us?
So for marketing, I will definitely recommend Gary V. And I'm actually I have like a library of books right here.
I love it.
Here's one book. This is Crush It.
Oh, is that Gary V? Oh, yes. I see him talking about that one. Okay.
I got some oil on it, but Crush It, this is what I recommend. And he talks about storytelling, first of all, because when you have a brand, you may hear like, oh, tell your story. But people are like, how do I tell my story? Like, so I recommend Crush It, but then he also has another one. It's called Jab, Jab, Right Hook. That was the first one that I read. But yeah, it kind of teaches you the art of balancing promotion versus entertainment versus educating your audience. Because if your social media looks like it's marketing, then you're doing it all wrong. Like, how are you being relatable? And how are you, so if we're talking about pageants and raising money, how are you asking for people to donate versus sharing the story of the behind the scenes of you getting your makeup done or getting coached or practicing a routine? So what was that? What did I say?
Jab, jab, right hook.
Yeah, those two would be good.
Okay. I gotta write those down. Because I definitely need to up my reading game. I always get books, but I always get like biographies. I just love biographies. Right now I have Rich Dad Poor Dad that I'm going through.
I've been trying to get through that. I feel like that's a good finance book. Yeah. When you're trying to get now, if you want to get your finances up, here is a book here.
Let me see.
Now, before I show the book, here's the thing about the book. I went to a film festival, and there was a director and a film director, and she was in her 50s, and she talked about how finances is very important as you are accelerating or whatever. And she was like, well, if I were to read this book when I was 35 years old, I'll be rich. So here's my thing. Anytime an elder tells you something, you should listen. Right. Because they've been there and done that. Like, she's 3 times my age. So I said, well, let me buy this book. And the book is I Will Teach You to Be Rich.
Okay.
I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And it's only $16, but for $16, like when I say my finances is just boop, 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 boop. because of this book. And I'm just like, wow, I'm 26. Yeah, this is it. This is it. I will teach you to be rich.
Okay. Is that the author's name? Ramit?
Ramit, yeah, Ramit.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. For my finance.
To be rich. I'm going to put that on my Amazon cart as we speak right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Did you finish it?
So the thing about finance books, I feel like finance is kind of like religion. If you're religious and if you stop reading your Bible or you stop just being into your religion or whatever, you'll fall short of it. So I feel like with finance books, it's a constant read. It's something that you can fly through, but it's something you have to pace yourself with. Similar to social media marketing, there's so many tips out there. But if you take all the tips and try to execute them at once, you'll overwhelm yourself and you'll probably just give up on it. So for me, I'm pacing myself as I'm doing things because in each chapter, he's giving you something specific to do. So I'm not done yet, but I am halfway done.
Nice. That's how I am with the Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's just so much nuggets. I'm like, I need a second to just digest what he just said.
Yeah.
A lot of information, you know, especially coming from like, you know, background that I have, and I would assume that you have when you're not actually taught financial literacy and you're learning all this new stuff. You know, all I was taught was just to save in a savings account. Now I'm learning about corporations, getting a corporation, getting LLC, and it's just like, okay, I mean, like, you know, I get the pacing. Like, let me just digest what I just read.
It's like trying to add it out. Trying to add it all up. I was just speaking with my financial advisor, and I'm like, wait, can you explain that again? And I'm just like, wait, one more time, just to be sure. It's one of those things, like, we're learning backwards. So, you know, those type of their kids, like the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, his kids probably know exactly what to do, you know, but here I am 26 years old trying to figure it out now.
Well, the beauty in it is that we have more years ahead of us to save our money.
Yeah.
And we're at an older age trying to figure all this stuff out, you know. Well, let's get into social media, which is the reason why I wanted to bring you onto the show. I know you are a bomb at social media because I see it all the time. And I know you have, how many clients? You have like 900 clients?
So I've helped over 900 brands through like one-on-one services, through my online courses, through my workshops. So my goal is to be able to help as many entrepreneurs as possible, no matter if the budget is small or big.
That is insane. I don't even know how you managed to like do all that in like 6 years of just growing your business. That's first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I was like, wow, I did that. Wow.
I love it. You should start writing a book. I mean, I know you probably don't think you but you should.
I want to, but I it's like, again, it's so much to think about. It's so much to do. You just got to pace yourself. The time is right. The time will come when I write my book.
I love it. Okay. Well, I'll be sitting waiting for it as usual. So when it comes to pageant title holders, and this is kind of just for them because I know it might be different when it comes to like directors because they're advertising a system as opposed to title holders who might be posting for themselves, advertising their reign. So when it comes to title holders, what are some tips and some life hacks that we can use on social media to help grow their reign and help grow their presence on social media, whether it's leading up to nationals or after nationals? How can they increase their presence? Just some quick tips.
Yeah. So anytime you have social media for like beauty queens and getting into pageants, you have to know what your goal is. Number one, whether if you are a business owner or even if we're talking about pageants, like you have to know what your goal is, because one of the biggest things I hear people saying is, oh, I don't know how to create content. I don't know the best captions. I don't know how many times a day to post. I don't know. First of all, like, and then you hear people say, be authentic. Like, and it's like the social media is out there. They give really broad answers. And I'm just like, you still didn't help Like, you still didn't help because they're still and still trying to figure out what the hell. So number one, start with your goal. Like, every day you should have a goal, right? So let's say, like, I just need an example. So can you give me an example of, like, okay, so Brittany, you are currently recruiting for your pageant. That should be the only thing that you focus on day in and day out. That should be your main message. You need a clear message. So when I say goal, know what your goal is and determine what your clear message is and post until you reach your goal. So if you want 50 contestants to sign up, then you need to have a goal to have at least, maybe 5 to 10 people sign up per day.
Okay.
You need to make sure that you're posting until you get your goal. So maybe you want to post 3 times a day. But if you struggle with content and if you don't have content, then you can turn your entire account into like a tips account. Or, where like you're still able to engage with the pageant community. So again, it kind of depends on like what your goal is. And the framework that I like to think about for me is your planning phase, your posting phase, and your profit phase. So maybe your profit phase will be when you actually win the title. But your planning phase is thinking like, okay, am I planning for a pageant? Awesome. Do I have 2 to 3 months? Okay, great. And this month, these are the things I want to focus on. I want to show behind the scenes of me working on my campaign. I want to show behind the scenes of me having interviews. But as I'm showing this content, you always want to have a call to action. So are you raising money? Do you have a GoFundMe account? Do you have a Cash App? Do you have a Zelle? Do you have a website? Where do you want to send people once they see your content? Because yes, they can see your content, they can double tap, but yes, they can also comment, but you want to send them to some type of link to send you money. Because for me, like most of my marketing was me trying to get money and raising and finding sponsors, engage with those sponsors. If there's any sponsors that you want to work with, maybe you create a post to introduce yourself like, hi, I can say, hi, my name is Kovana. I'm running for this pageant, whatever the pageant name is. And my goal is to have brand 1, brand 2, and brand 3 sponsor me. Do me a favor and tag them below. I want to try to get 100 comments so I can get them to see me. That can be an idea. So again, I can like go all day, but it really depends on what your goal is. So start with your goal. Come up with your content idea to post, and then you profit, whether it's profiting from the money that people have given to you or even profiting from the win of the crown.
Gotcha. And I just want to go ahead and add someone real fast. Miss Jones says, good evening, and thank you for this info. Hello, Miss Jones. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Hi.
So it sounds like you need to have a purpose for your posts. Have a plan, have a purpose, not just posting all willy-nilly.
Yeah. Or you'll be asking yourself, I don't know a caption. You don't know a caption because you don't know what you even want to talk about. But if you want to tell the story, if you want to tell the story of your adversities, if you want to tell the story of why you are competing in the pageant, you won't have to ask what your caption is going to be. If you want to tell the story of what you're going to do once you win, then you're not going to have to think about what your caption is. Right. So it's kind of like, again, knowing what that purpose is so you can know like, okay, this is much easier for me now.
I love that because it's kind of like having a why. Simon Sinek, I think it's his last name, his main mission is to start with a why. Whenever you do anything is why. Like, why are you doing something? Why are you going to school? Why are you studying this specific major? And then he said, ask yourself why 3 times. So when you get the first answer, ask yourself why for this answer. So if I'm going to school, why am I going to school? To study biology. Why biology? Because I want to I want to be a doctor. Why do I want to be a doctor? Because I want to help people. And that's the core of it. When you ask yourself why 3 times. So I kind of like that in the same way using social media as well.
Yeah.
That we have no more Drake Drake lyrics as captions.
Right. No more. Right. Unless it makes sense. Unless it's your talent song, something like that. But it has to make sense. Like you can do a guessing game, like guess my song that I'm playing in my talent based on these lyrics.
Oh, that'd be cute. That's an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question about Instagram. I do want to ask you. So, because I don't know, I'm kind of back and forth with Instagram nowadays. The algorithm I know has changed a few times. Do you think Instagram is still an effective way of marketing to people as opposed to like TikTok and the Twitter and Facebook?
Honestly, I say Instagram is better than all of those other ones. Because it's more visual, and even like in the data, the numbers show like Instagram have the most numbers. Even when it comes to brands, like Facebook is the secondary platform. Even when it comes to Twitter, like it's kind of hard for brands to really grow a following on Twitter unless they go viral or they're running ads. So again, like you have to know your why, like you said, but why are you using each platform and to know what the platforms are. So Instagram, and it's funny, I just got a Twitter notification on my phone, but it's probably like, oh, something recommended for me. But I'm just like, okay, Twitter, whatever. But Instagram, okay, what we got going over there? So you want to use Twitter to identify trends. So maybe you want to follow top companies, like top pageant companies, top dress companies. What are the trends? You know, you go to Twitter for the trends. Instagram, you go to Instagram to share the trends that you learn from Twitter, and you share it in your Instagram content. And people are like, oh, wow, you know. But on Facebook, you have family and friends on Facebook. So, you know, like, so you have to talk to your family and friends. But on Instagram, you have strangers. You have more of an opportunity to discover. You have Instagram Reels. How are you activating videos with music? On TikTok is all about getting creative and, you know, also following the trends on TikTok. So again, it's really all about knowing each profile. Why was it created, and what type of content are you going to create that actually goes with the platform? Now, the Instagram algorithm is really not even an algorithm, low key. It's really all about the time you're putting in to engage with people. And the way that I like to look at it is, it's like, okay, say I'm in the house, which I am. If I'm not going outside to talk to people, how am I engaging? They're not going to see me if I'm in the house. I have to go outside to talk to people. If I see someone with a nice outfit on, oh my gosh, I love your outfit. I love that. You know, like if I see someone with a nice outfit on and I don't say anything, that's kind of comparable to you seeing a nice picture and you not commenting. You know, so it's not even about the algorithm. It's about how much time are you spending talking to other people. So maybe for example, I'm working with Luster Hair Products right now as my client. Yes. So I engage in the morning, but and their target audience is like barbers because it's on the men's side. So I'm engaging with Andy's Clippers. People who are using Andy's Clippers. I know that they're barbers, so I'm going in the comments engaging. I'm going on their profiles engaging and commenting. And I grew the followers by like 200 in a couple days because I'm engaging. If I don't engage, there's not going to be any followers.
So maybe that's what's wrong with my Twitter, my Instagram. Well, maybe that's what's wrong with my Instagram.
Yeah, you're not engaging. You're getting on, you're posting, and you're getting off.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. And Instagram knows, so they're not going to show you.
The shade. I love it. Instagram is shading me. Yeah. I love it. That's why I sometimes, because I'm on Twitter more, I like to read. Like I just genuinely just like to read. And Facebook kind of annoys me because it is people I see, and I see the same people. And I just am not. And then some people just complain, you know. Whereas Twitter, I'm learning something new. It's discussions. And TikTok, I just like being creative because I'm a creative person. I like editing videos, and I like actual filming videos, photography. That's why I asked about Instagram. I'm like, and then lately when I post, I get like, I know every person who likes my page, like personally. It'd be like 15 people that I know personally. And it's just that. I'm just like, what the heck? I'm so done with this app. I'm like sick of
How
it.
many followers do you have?
1,000.
So the key is you have to get all 1,000 of your followers to engage with you. So that means and it's called a conversion rate. So that means that's like maybe 5 to, is that 10%? Because 10%, that's 15%. You have like a 15% engagement rate. But that pretty much means if you have 1,000 followers and you only have 15 people liking, you have to engage with the people who's currently following you. Because all you have to do is like their picture one time and then they'll start seeing your content.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So you really gotta be on social media. Like you have to have, do you think that there's like, it's like a full-time job being on there almost like full-time, like not just posting, but going on other places. You gotta go find your audience. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like being there full-time.
Yeah. But if you're lazy, it's not gonna work. It's not for the lazy. It's for the people who are ready to grind to see the results. Or you can pay for them. Facebook ads, but that's really expensive.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find a Facebook sponsor. So yeah, that's how that works with the algorithm and everything.
Gotcha. So scroll with a purpose.
Scroll and post and comment and then like engage with the purpose.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a good little tip. So when it comes to title holders, some of the best people, I guess they would have to be like their sponsors or people who might view the pageant as far as what kind of audience they should engage with on social media.
Okay. What's the question?
It was more of a statement. I'm saying, like, as far as title holders, when it comes to like who they should engage with, whether it's leading up to the nationals or not, would it be like their sponsors, like the sponsors of the pageant that they should engage with, or people who may come to the pageant to engage with? Like, who do you think is their audience that they should kind of target and like their posts?
That's
the post they should like.
That's a really good question. And like target audience is very customized to each person.
Okay.
Of course, it depends on like who you want to, like what type of sponsor are you looking for, and like what's the age group of the pageant that you're actually participating in. So of course, I would recommend, if we're thinking about sponsors, you want to think about potential local sponsors. You want to think about maybe small businesses or Black-owned businesses right now, because that's a big thing. But in terms of attendees, like what type of people do you see attending to support you? Of course, they will have to be interested in pageants, or maybe you can connect and engage with local influencers who have some type of influence in your community or influence in your niche. You can engage with them to have them attend as well. But again, it depends on what your goal is. So it has to start with what your goal is. If your goal is to raise money, then we know one thing I would say with raising money, if you're trying to raise money on the internet, you have to have some type of story of adversity. When I raised money, I had to get up and pick up the phone to call people to raise money. Because let's face it, people aren't just going to give you money just because they see your post. They have to see like what type of hardship do you go through? Like, why should I give you my money? So going back to the why should I give you my money? You can give me your money because I was raised by a single mom who worked 2 jobs, who I saw one day come home with holes in her shoes, and I realized like I have to make a difference for myself. My mom is not going to be able to do it because she's already in her 30s and she's on welfare and she's trying, but she can't. Right. And I'm trying to do it by myself. And at that time I was 19 or whatever in college. Mm-hmm. So you may have to go to a Walmart. I went to Walmart to raise money in a small town. I went to a grocery store to raise money. So there's a balance between social media, but with raising money, you have to put the big girl panties on and really get out here and Call people. I had a list of people to call.
Yeah.
If they didn't answer, I followed up. I kept calling. I don't care if I get on your nerve or not. I need this money.
Right. I got a mission. You're gonna finance me or not? Take your feelings out of it. You gotta take the feelings out of it, because you might feel like you're bugging, but that's just your womenness that you feel like that. Guys don't have that kind of feeling. They don't care necessarily if I'm bugging you or not. So take the feelings out of that whole situation. I love that. All right. So lastly, I want to ask you about the tools for social media. So the people don't have all day to make content daily. What would you recommend as far as tools for people to use to post on social media? Like, do you recommend just posting organically on these platforms per post, or do you recommend scheduling some things out? What are your advice?
So with the content piece, I recommend planning. So going back to planning, plan your content in advance, like literally plan it in advance. Now, it's important for you to identify what content really is. Content is such a broad term, but content is simple. And I want you to think of it this way. Let's imagine you ask your BF, like, let's imagine your makeup is flawless. You ask your BFF or your pageant sister, like, to take my pictures. How many angles is she going to give you? Like, she's going to give you like 20 to 30 angles over a camera roll. Like, okay, bingo. Bingo. Okay. So I say that to say those 20 to 30 pictures, that's content for 20 to 30 days. All you have to do is post at least once a day. And I say that because I want to like make it easy, because some people like overthink the content creation process. So planning your content ahead. Maybe you want to collaborate or ask a photographer in your city to sponsor your photos in exchange for marketing promotion. Or you can set up a brand photo shoot. Now, when you're posting, you have to know how many times a day you're posting. So even if you're posting once a day, let me see. So in February, we have 28 days in February. So if you're posting once a day, all you need is 28 photos. And that's it. That's it. It could be photos. You want to do photos, you can do videos, you can do graphic designs, graphics that are promoting you, graphics that are promoting your mission, your platform, graphics that are promoting what you're going to be doing. So again, like, what is that message that you want to have? And then that's it. Like, you can, if you don't have time, like, you can post it, or you can use, if you're on Facebook and Instagram, you can use the new Facebook Business Suite to schedule your content in advance. There's other tools such as Later or Hootsuite, Buffer. Those allow for you to schedule content on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But Facebook created their own business suite for brands to schedule their content, because if they, similar to like Instagram recently said, oh, if someone creates a TikTok and they share it on Instagram, we're going to decrease the engagement because it's not original content for Instagram. So same thing for the Facebook Business Suite. It's free. Look into it. As long as you have a Facebook page, then you can. It's right on your Facebook page, the Facebook Business Suite. It allows for you to run your ads. You can respond to your comments. You can respond to your messages, all from the Business Suite. So those are the tools that I would say. But for the content piece, like, it's February 24th, and I'm planning all of my content for the month of March, because I don't want to have to think about what I'm posting every day. I don't have time for that. It takes me too long to think about it. So I'm coming up with my campaign, my messaging, my theme, my colors, the graphics, the photos, and I put it all together, and then I just post. Me personally, sometimes I post daily, sometimes I schedule it. Just depends. But if you plan it out ahead of time, it's going to help with the process overall, whether if you're posting it as you go or if you're scheduling it.
So for those listening, really take the time out to set aside a day to work on your social media and plan it and just do it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you could get that all done in a day. You can plan everything out for the month in a day.
But I don't want to tell them a day, because it probably takes me a couple weeks.
Well, take some time out. Schedule some time out to figure that out.
Yeah, because I feel like if you tell people a day, it's just then they feel like a day. I don't want you staring at your computer for hours, because you will. But I turned on my thinking cap a week ago. Like, what am I going to be? What's my plan? I turned on my thinking cap a week ago. Gotcha. But this week, I'm creating it. I give myself a weekend. I have some wine. This almost gone. But I have some wine and some food, and I create the content. But don't feel like it has to be done in one day, because that's what the other social media managers tell you. But I'm not the one, because I don't do it in a day. And it's not really realistic. I mean, they can do it, but hey, I'm not spending all that time doing that. I have other stuff to do.
That's smart. That's smart. Okay, so let's take time out to figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Coco, I appreciate you joining us. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or any other tips that you wanted to leave us with before I let you go?
No other tips, but for anyone who sees this video, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Bossy. That's BOMBANDBOSSY. Send me a DM, mention the pageant and Prosecco video. And if you have any questions for me, like as you're creating, then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Well, thank you. I love how we both have the alliteration in our titles. Bossy, Pageants and Prosecco.
Yes! I love it. PMP.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. As usual, I'm almost done with my little Tito's here.
Yes.
I might just refill it for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I'm about to refill mine and probably go to sleep.
You said you got yours from Cooper's Hawk. Is that Cooper's Hawk's wine, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually don't live far from a Cooper's Hawk. I have a Cooper's Hawk membership. I'm just like, wow, I'm officially a grown up. I have a membership just for wine. This is the life, I guess.
Well, we should connect. You know what I'm saying? I can meet you at Cooper's. Ain't no problem.
Yeah, they told me I got 5 free wine tastings. I got 5
wine tasting thing too. I have like an old card that said free wine tasting. I hope they still accept it.
Are you still in Chicago or close?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we can meet up. I got 5 of them.
Oh, all right. Well, let me let you go. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. As usual, I hope you glasses are empty. I hope you took a lot from today's session. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you so much, Brittany.